Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, Designs by Dana. I'm Dana and I'm also a close to my heart maker. And this is the month of March, so I'm currently working through the 30-day sketch challenge by Christie's Beautiful Life. And today I'm on sketch number 5. So let me pull that sketch in and show you what it looks like. This is a sketch that was created by Katie Scott. And what I like about this sketch is I really like the triangles, and I like how she's divided the page up. So you've got some heaviness on one side, and then you've got some blank space on one side. So you have a place to kind of rest your eye, and it's not heavy all the way around the page. I like the composition of the visual triangle of the threes and pulling your eye into the center there. So let me pull in my photos that I'm going to use. I did go ahead and use 2 photos, and I'm going to hold these up because I want to kind of talk a little bit about how similar these photos are. And actually, I think this is the exact same photo taken up close and farther away. So I really struggled with using the exact same photo on one page. Now these are photos of my mom, who has passed about 4 years ago, and these are photos that I found on her computer. And the reason that I chose to use them both, and I just kind of want to talk through that because it may be something that you come across too and could be important to you. I liked this photo because it's up close and I can really see the smile in her face, and I can see the up close picture of her. So I really like this picture of her. So I leaned towards using this photo. But then in this photo, what I liked is I could see some of the background scenery. And she's actually sitting on a mountain in Arkansas. We don't live too far from there. And she bought land down there. And this was one of her happy places. So I struggled because I didn't really want to cut out that scenery that doesn't really show up in this picture. So I decided, why not do them both and capture the beautiful picture here of her, but also the scenery of where she's sitting, because that's really what encapsulates the happiness of her face and what this photo represents. So I wanted to kind of explain to you why I chose to do that and using kind of the same photo, but a little bit different perspective in the close-up and the zoomed out version. So let me get this out of the way and we'll come back with our papers and get started on our dry fit and assembly. Okay, so I obviously have my Versamat in here and I'm bringing in my papers. I'm going to set all my pieces aside for a second, and I want to talk about how I went through my paper selection. So what I love about Close to My Heart is how obviously our colors are the same no matter what paper packet you select. So you can mix and match your paper packets and your papers, and everything's obviously going to coordinate 100% of the time. So with this particular layout, you can see here I'm using a base page that shows mountains, obviously because she's sitting on a mountain and it's her happy place. But the papers that I'm actually going to use are papers from a packet called In Full Bloom. So let me show you some of the color schemes that I'm incorporating here. So this is the sticker sheet and the color scheme from the In Full Bloom paper packet. And you can see how they're very soft with the yellows and the blues and the greens. So that's kind of the base of my original vision. But with my base page, I pulled in the mountains from a packet that looks like this. And you typically wouldn't expect this to match with this. So be open-minded here, because this does have some gray undertones to it. So when I found the mountain sheet here, I thought it was a perfect fit and it matched perfectly. And then finally, I was also able to pull in some stickers from this paper packet, which for some reason is totally escaping my mind. but I'm going to think of it here in a second because of course I'm on the spot and I just had it in my head before I started, and of course now it's gone. But you can see here it does have some of the same yellow tones, and so I was able to pull some of the stickers, the butterflies, and the flower, or not flowers, but the little birdie and things. So combining all three of these paper packets is what's going to make hopefully my layout turn out pretty special. So let's get started. I'll move these out of the way and get started on our dry fit because that's not going to take very long at all. So what I did is I have all of these triangular pieces, and just to give you an idea of how I created these, what I did is I cut a piece of cardstock that was 3 inches by 6 inches. And then I came in, and I'm going to turn it this way for you. I came in and I put a tick mark at the half point of 3 inches, which is 1.5 inches. So I used a pencil and I just tick marked that. Then with my paper trimmer, I was able to come in with a tick mark and cut from the tick mark to the corner and the tick mark to the corner. So I've got perfectly triangular pieces. So I did that with several pieces, and then I did the exact same thing with some that were 2.5 inches. And with the 2.5, obviously half of that is just 1.25. So it gave me just a little bit of variety in the thickness or depth of each of the triangles. So super easy to cut, and that's how I got all of these pieces cut. So I'm just going to actually do it a little bit different from the original sketch, and I'm going to use this side of the page because I like that the darker portion of the mountains are down here, and I want that part to show up more than the light up here. So I'm going to kind of envision that this is basically right around the center of the page at the 6 and the 6 inch point, and kind of line everything up with that. So some of these I'm going to overlap a little, some of them I'm going to leave some gaps in between. Let's see, I'll leave a little gap here. Overlap this, and I can fill in some extra space by off-centering them. Bring that in. So we're going to look something like that. And then of course I have this whole half down in the bottom right to, you know, this will be the eye resting space here. So for my photos, I brought in a piece of lemonade cardstock and just matted those a half or a 1/4 inch larger than the photos. And I'm going to just place them pretty similar to the sketch. So there is our dry fit. And what I'm going to do is glue this down off camera, and then we'll come back and talk about embellishing. I remembered the name of that kit, so I'm bringing in the sticker sheet, and this is from the Every Little Thing paper packet, and then I have the Info Bloom and Aurora packets that I mentioned earlier. So I'm going to bring in some of the embellishments that I hope to use for this layout, and I have some stickers that I pre-planned on my wax paper here and some die cuts. And I'm going to work on this cluster up here in the right hand corner, and I knew right away that I wanted to put this yellow flower up here and tucked under the photo here. So let me just dump out all of these embellishments I have, and I know I want to put some leaves up here, so I'm going to play around with that a little bit and tuck them under the flower. I like having the green underneath and then the black on top. I think that adds some nice texture and dimension there as well. And I'm going to bring in my foam tape, of course. And I've got these two little blue flowers that I think I want to pop up and make into my floral cluster. So I'm going to pop those up, and since I put my yellow flower under the photo, these will look nice going on top of the photo and making a nice little cluster there. And this is the little bird that I pulled from that Every Little Thing sticker sheet. I'm gonna pop him up, and I thought I would put him up here in the leaves, and then I decided I didn't like him there because he covered too much of the leaves up, so I moved him down a little bit. And I say him, probably a her, I don't know. So let's move on to some of the other areas. And down here in this corner, I anticipated using this floral cluster, so I wanted to put that here at the corner, and also wanted to add, similar to the other cluster at the top, some leaves underneath and some of the black leaves coming out of the top as well, just to kind of emulate what I've done at the top. And I wanted a butterfly down here, and all of the sticker butterflies just didn't seem to pop up enough for me. So I'm going to use one of the black butterflies, and I really like how that pops up against the yellow floral cluster. So that made me really happy to kind of see that pop of black, I guess, really against the yellow color. So I'm gonna add some more of those embellishments. And then over here on the right bottom, I really liked this black butterfly, and I'm going to put it against a backer this time. And that really kind of shows that it pops up. And then I'm going to put some foam tape behind there. I'm going to hold it up because that glue is not quite dry. So I'm just going to be careful that I don't lay it on the layout until it's popped up and ready to go down. And then this yellow butterfly sticker is another one I pulled from that extra sticker sheet. And I'm just going to kind of tuck this one under and stick it down without the foam tape. And gonna tuck some more pieces underneath that one, and another little twig of leaves under the bottom butterfly. And I have some little embellishments here and there. This little tiny piece, I think it says The Good Life. I cut that actually from a Picture My Life card, and it was a scrap, and I just cut it out because it fit perfectly and the colors matched great. Now for the title, I was going to use the In Full Bloom, but then I decided that this was her mountain, and I was going to bring in some stamps and actually stamp the words Mom's Mountain, because I think that was a little bit more appropriate. So I'm using my square ruler here and making some pencil lines so that I can try to stamp on a straight line. And I'm not going to stamp all of these on camera because I do end up getting my head in the shot, and I know you don't want to see a bunch of that. So I'm going to end up stamping these off camera to finish up the rest of the embellishing. Okay, somehow I lost some video in that last feed. I'm not sure what happened with my recording, but I got everything finished up here. So let me show you a couple things I did. I finished stamping my title here. I added a couple little more embellishments. I added these little flowers. Now these are really old, from the old Skylark suite. This is several years old if you've been around for a while. I also added some sparkles to my butterflies, and I think that kind of wraps up what I finished up. So there is the finished layout. Unfortunately, as I was adding all of this, I noticed that you really can't see a lot of the mountains that I hoped you could, but it still works out with the grayish background, and I'm very happy with how this turned out. I think my mom would be very happy with it as well. So anyway, I hope you like it. If you do like it, please hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed, I invite you to subscribe to my channel as well. And I will be back again soon with another video working through this month of Christy's Beautiful Life Monthly Challenge. So please come back and watch another video, and hopefully we'll be back tomorrow. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you soon. Bye.